everyone stand up real quick while these guys are coming up. Stand up, stretch it out. Stand up, stretch it out. Who's got the music? Everyone, this guy's stretching. He's got his dance on, belly showing everything. He's rocking and rolling. Let's go. We're good now. Just nothing but love. Appreciate it. I got my belly too, bro. I'm working on it all the time. All right, 39 minutes. How we doing? Fantastic. You got a lapel mic? Scoot in, tighten in.
Check. I don't even know if it's on anymore.
That's okay. We got microphones?
Yeah, we got two.
Okay. Well, hello, everybody. Yeah, you can sit down now. I appreciate it. Sorry.
Check.
I really just trying to lighten you up while we're getting the crowd up here, so appreciate you guys. This is going to be fun. So these are Hall of Fame producers. Hall of Fame at Family First Life. Clap it up. Appreciate you, brother.
Woo! Woo!
Yeah, well, Nat hit Hall of Fame too, but he already spoke. So if you already spoke, we're tightening it up. Jaime spoke a bunch too, but he paid for the whole thing. So, we'll give him as much speaking time as he wants. So Hall of Fame, this is it's like the all-stars. Like this is the top of the top, the people that practiced the most, that sacrificed the most, that gave up the most to put themselves in a position to bless the families they protect and their own family the most. And what's exciting about this at Family First Life, and maybe we'll start traveling with them, but you actually, on stage coming up this year in Miami, many of you hit it. I'm sure you guys are going to repeat, but you get a red jacket, is the term donned? Placed on you at stage in front of, there'll be 23,000 people at Lone Depot Park again this year, which would be incredible. So for all of you here where you are right now, wherever production level you are, there's people that have hit Hall of Fame in 175 days. There's people that will hit Hall of Fame that are starting right now. And there's some people that are already on track. So set a goal for you to do that. And this is a group right now that you can listen to. The words they say, I'm not going to use the word gospel. I think we're in the South. Is this the South, Richard? I don't know where, but they're sales gospel, if you will. No one strike me down. But they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. The words they say work, and if you copy them, you'll have the success they're having. So we're going to go down the line real quick, and then we're going to do some very specific tactical sales training. They're going to cover their open, close, get the check, think about it, bank coverage. I already got coverage through work. I don't think we can afford it, and final words leaving the house. If you're looking for the magic words that you've been struggling with, the answers are about to be unfolded before you. We're going to start with Jaime, head down to Dean, but quickly, Jaime, Chirio, what is your best month, and what is the last year? How many families did you protect?
Best month, 72 families. 458 on the year last year.
458 on the year last year. Clap that up. We're going to do a lot of clapping. Your hands are going to be sore. You're clapping and writing, clapping and writing. That's a great event. Clap right, clap right, clap right, clap right. All right, Jaime, weekly lead investment and weekly average families protected. So this is perspective. How much they spend, how much they return on the spend.
$2,500 per week on leads, and I typically am protecting 20 to 25 a week. 70 to 80% of that is on Saturday.
Okay. All right. Fantastic. That's a good month. That's a good half a year for some people, man. And you do it in a week. Best business ever. All right. We're gonna have to push through it because we're gonna be clapping so much. No, one more question, and then we're gonna go to the fun stuff. Jaime, what switched for you from being average to extraordinary?
Having a baby and needing to support my family. Switching from my wife being provider to me being provider, and just needing to have another level of discipline in me, and having your first death claim, helping out a family, so many things. I could list off on and on and on, but the number one thing is just wanting to be a provider for my family. Switch flipped, and there's never been any place in any point in my life I've ever worked this hard.
Awesome. Thank you. All right, Mike Curry, how we doing?
Doing good.
Been calling you Boots all day. I think I'm going to keep it going. Best month, best, and last year.
Okay. Best month is 102, but I averaged pretty much 30 to 40. But best month 102, and what was that last question?
Last year, how many did you protect?
Last year 412.
412. Awesome. And then weekly. Average lead investment, averages, right? Some weeks are more, some weeks are less, and we forget to click the button on Sunday night, but average, and then average families protected.
Cool. Yeah, so I'll preface it with this. I was at a convention similar to this. I was brand new, 30 days in, and there was a Hall of Fame producer panel just like this, and it was Nina and a bunch of people, but they all went down the list, asked, and at that time I had no idea what a lead investment really was, but they all sit between $2,500 and $3,000. a week in leads. So I came back from that and applied that. So 2,500 to $3,000 a week in leads.
And then what did you return on that?
10 to 12 per week.
Would that make
families.
Caitlin nervous when you first started?
Yes.
You're like,
and
hey, I just got home from this event. I shared a room with a dude, but now we're going to spend $3,000 a week on leads.
and she stays home with the kids now.
That's a blessing. That's a blessing. So that almost curtails our next question is what helped you change from becoming average to extraordinary?
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously, she had always dreamed of staying home with the kids, which is the only reason I ever ventured into insurance, because I was completely satisfied fixing refrigerators. And, that definitely never entered my mind, but wanted to provide a better life. And I think, honestly, the difference in me and probably a lot of you guys is I just invested more in leads, and the return, gave me what I invested.
Thank you, Mike. So. All right, how we doing, Ali?
Good.
Where are you visiting us from?
I'm sorry, what?
Where are you visiting us from?
Kentucky.
Kentucky. Weren't you in Cali before?
Yeah, I'm Cali.
You've been here a while now, okay.
But yeah.
Okay. Question, best month and families protected last year.
Best month, 87 families.
And last year?
Last year, 556.
556. Same questions, average investment in leads and average weekly return.
Between $200 and $2,500 a week.
And then what does that usually turn over for you?
Probably 25 to 30 families a week I'm able to help.
In Kentucky?
Kentucky and Indiana.
Kentucky and Indiana.
I love it there.
That's fantastic. All right, last question is what, for you, what was the trigger from average to extraordinary?
The biggest thing for me was investing in myself. It's your business, you have to invest it. I do have family in Pakistan, so I have to help them. So I have a strong why. So I don't have time not to. I have to get up every morning. I got to make sure I'm producing, helping families. I'm also helping my family. So that's my biggest reason I do.
That's awesome. Awesome. Thank you. Shannon, how we doing?
Doing awesome, thank you.
Good. Where are you visiting us from?
Chesapeake, Virginia, just up the road.
Okay. All right. You're like Greenville now. And how far are you from here? 30 minutes. Okay. So you got the easy one. Best month and and last year.
Yeah, best month was last month, 110 families protected. And last year was 480 families.
Wow, congrats. That's out of words, man. It's just more data. The data for this is important because I want you guys to hear a ratio, right? You're hearing similarities, right? Similar numbers, similar results. Similar numbers, similar results. Average lead investment, average return per week.
The average is anywhere from, it's fully automated, so it can range anywhere from, say, 3,000 to 4 per week. And typically it's anywhere from 18 to 25.
Per week.
Yes.
Incredible. All right, big, deep question. What for you took you from being average to an extraordinary producer?
That would be in 2020. I experienced a lot of personal things, and one of which was the death of my adoptive son. And so I was able to take that, and I realized that the importance of life, the sanctity of it, and I was able to convey that to my clients. And so that's really what propelled me to be able to protect so many clients, so that his death is not in vain.
Thank you for sharing. All right, Mr. Kitchings. Did you move here yet? Or are you still live in Arizona?
Still in Arizona.
You still got
baby.
that slingshot?
Yes, sir.
You gonna give it back? It was at my house for 2 months till you took it from me.
Yeah, I'm in AZ for good.
Brandon won a $37,000 Polaris slingshot worth looking up at an event last year, which is why you should show up to all events, because a lot of people won leads today. Raise your hand if you won leads.
Right.
All right, good. That's pretty cool for showing up, right? You missed out on 5K, though, so sorry. Oh, okay, you got your 1K. Okay, Brandon, best month, and what'd you do last year?
Best month, 51 families, and last year, 413.
413. Now, question: were you on track, or did you double down November, December to make sure you hit it?
Great question. I doubled down the last 3 months of the year. I was actually off pace the last 3 months, and kind of leading to that last question of I had to give up to go up. It was kind of a sacrifice for me. Anyone that knows, last year I had dreads. I had dreads in my hair, and it was a lot of maintenance, with that, and I was losing a lot of time in my business dealing with the maintenance of my hair. like real talk.
How much time?
20 hours a month.
How many?
20 hours a month.
20 hours a month.
Yes, 20 hours a month.
It's expensive to look
getting
good,
them done,
man.
getting my hair cut, all of that. It was costing me 20 hours a month, and I found a way. I said if I give them up, it's going to put time back into my business. It's going to allow me to make up, where I was falling short, because I was actually off pace.
Why was it important to you to hit Hall of Fame?
Because I said I was going to do it at the beginning of the year, and I promised my wife and my kids that I would do it. So I had to. But doing that, it allowed me to go out and protect 158 families in the last 3 months.
Love it, bro.
Yeah.
So average weekly lead investment and then average weekly return, just
2,500 every week, like
every week.
clockwork.
Yep.
Yeah.
Don't you feel weird if you don't spend the money?
I do.
All you got, it's like a question, all you, right? Don't you?
Yeah.
It's like you get to a point where like I got too much in this account right now. We need to go buy some leads. Is there a sale
Yes.
coming on? Where's work spots, right?
Yeah.
And it's so automatic that it makes you uncomfortable to not spend the money.
Yeah.
So and then just you kind of touched on it, but I want you to maybe dig in a little each year. What helped you go from average to extraordinary?
Well, that's the sacrifice of cutting my hair. Helped me get to Hall of Fame. But to get to the Hall of Fame mind state, again, it was giving up. Anyone that knows me before Family First Life, I was the biggest Los Angeles Lakers fan in the world. And if they lost, it messed up my whole week. Like it controlled me like that.
Yeah. So last year was rough for you. I bet.
Because I don't care anymore.
Oh, there we go.
I really don't. I really
it.
don't care anymore. I think the reason I was at that point in the beginning was because I wasn't happy with what I was doing in my own life. So that was me watching those games was just a chance for me to get out of escape my reality, and try to live through them. But in the grand scheme of things, they're already rich, and I'm trying to get there,
Amen, bro. That's awesome. Thank you, Brandon. All right, Mr. Robbie Wells, how are we doing today?
I'm doing great, and just to say to you, Brandon, it takes me 5 minutes every morning to maintain my hair. Same with Dean. So.
All right, so Robbie, best month, and how'd you do last year?
Best month was 74 families protected. The last year was 464 families protected.
It's awesome. Now, just for perspective for everyone, who's the note takers, which are usually the most successful people out there, and I am watching. So, average lead investment and average weekly return.
Right at $2,000, and that includes the discounts with work spots. And if you're not a part of work spots, you're really missing out. So, here's their commercial right now. You'll literally save about $2,000 a month on work spots, which is $24,000 a year, which is a huge mortgage. Yep. What was the other question?
The other question was average return per week.
Average return, I don't know, around 15,000. The one thing that really helped me with the business was having right next to my office was Mike Curry, and he and I would feed off each other's energy every Monday when we come back in the office. How was your weekend? If he was ahead of me, then the next weekend I was going to make sure I was ahead of him, vice versa. So we both ended up hitting Hall of Fame in December last year.
That's awesome. Yeah, there's a big value in competition, right? It's friendly competition. You don't want them to lose. You just want to win by one family more.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's awesome. All right, so and what switched for you from being average to extraordinary?
A long time ago, I decided that I was going to live by 3 rules. Rule number 1 is do right. Rule number 2, do your very best. Rule number 3, treat other people the way you want to be treated. Rule number 2, do your very best. Strive for excellence. Because if you're doing that, it goes back to rule number 1, which is just 2 words, do right. And then rule number 3, treat other people the way you want to be treated. Here in the South, we call that the golden rule. If you're doing that, you're treating other people with love, honor, dignity, and respect. Then it goes back to rule number 1. So it's really just one rule, and that's do right.
I love it, man.
That's it.
I love it. Clap. That was great. Thank you, Robbie. All right. And then Mr. Dean, where are you living now?
Right here.
You live here.
Yeah.
Now, why do I feel like you've lived many places?
I did.
I've been visually watching your journey, doing Facebook Lives from your car for 4 years.
Yep.
Just real quick, where have you lived?
I started in Virginia, went to Tampa, now I'm up here.
Weren't you in the Seattle area too for some?
No, I just went up there for the conferences, and I
Okay.
flew out to Phoenix last year for the conference. So I like to travel.
I remember I met you in This is just, sorry for me
I know, right?
reflecting on the first time I met Dean. We were at Andrew Paul's office for the Rising Stars.
Yes, we're
literally
and
like
that was 2018. Yep.
2018.
Yep.
Let's go, bro. All right.
Let's do it.
Best month and how'd you do last year?
So best month, 88 families helped. I didn't do it last year. Did the year before is when I hit Hall of Fame. I did 428 families.
It's awesome.
Yep.
Good job. It's awesome.
Last year
Now-
was more of a building focus type thing, so I did half
good.
and half. Yep.
It's great. What is so now? What is your current active lead investment, and then what do you project in return on that each
Never
week?
changed. It's usually 25 to 3,000 a week,
Okay.
and on average, on the low end, 10 to 15 to 18 on the high end a
That's
week.
awesome.
Yep.
All right. So then the deep question: what switched for you to go from average to extraordinary?
I talked about it earlier. I presented about it. It's the schedule. I did not have a schedule. I didn't take it serious. I bounced around, I yo-yoed it, and I had to figure out what top producers were doing in this business. And second reason was Shaw Mike. I did a podcast with him back in 2018 and actually 2019, and he talked to me about doing Hall of Fame, and I missed it in 2019 by this close. He goes, you got to do it for yourself at least once. And that motivated me in 2020 to push harder, and it was a great challenge because I went through adversity challenge, and I moved from Virginia to Tampa. I didn't work for almost an entire month. But then I pushed to the last remaining 4 or 5 months to hit my goal that I needed to hit.
Just so Sean Mike goals, like some of the things that you said you were going to do, you got the job done. So
Yep.
well, thank you.
Absolutely.
Okay, so that was the hard part for them. You know why? Because they're not used to talking about themselves. Because they're used to talking to the clients. Now the fun thing that they're going to do, where this is where you're going to loosen your belt and get your wrist loosened up because you want to write this stuff down or film like my man right here. This is where they're going to give you the specific word tracks they say in the home to protect 10, 15, 18, 25 families a week. So if you're, for some reason, not taking notes, I don't know what that reason could be. You protect more families than them. You're tired. I don't know, but I would encourage you, like my man Melvin over here, be focused, deliberately ready to get better. The last time I'll say it. I wish more people took more notes, Jamie, because that's the only way you can actually form real memories is when your body takes pen to paper. Just rewatching a video is just rewatching a video, but actually taking notes and writing it down is actually committing it into your heart and into your brain, so it comes out of your mouth, so it makes you money. Okay, so we're gonna go through these things right now. Open, close, get the check, think about it, bank coverage, coverage through work. I don't think we can afford it, and the final words leaving the house. I don't remember the order. And we're going to do our best, but open was Shannon. All right, Shannon's going to give you his open, how he gets in the home, sets the table, sets expectations. Yep. Take it away.
Hey, Grady.
How we doing?
I'm awesome, dude. I'm here for the appointment for the mortgage protection.
Okay.
Do you want my shoes on or off?
On's fine.
On's fine. It's a rule of my house. So, if I don't do it, I get in trouble at my house. So, okay, no problem. The table right over here?
Yep, perfect.
Okay, awesome. So, Grady, you filled this form out, right? And I'm going to steal Jamie's because that's what we do is we take things and we make it our own. So can you go ahead and verify all this information for me, please? Your name, address, email, telephone number, everything look right? Mortgage
Looks right,
amount?
yep.
All right, perfect. So, of course, you're single, correct?
Yes.
All right, no significant other, nobody else that
Not
needs
now.
to be here?
Nope.
Okay, awesome. All right, so Greg, I'm just going to step you through the process so there's zero confusion here. What we're going to do today is I'm going to ask you a few questions about your health to go ahead and see what you qualify for. Which one of the 30-plus carriers that I represent is going to give you the most coverage for the least amount of money? We're going to talk a little bit about your goals, see what it is that you want to go ahead and do. Is this going to be your forever home?
Yeah, for now. Yeah.
It is. So
Yeah.
you may want to go ahead and protect the entire mortgage. Is that right?
Yeah, if we can.
Okay, awesome. So what we're going to do is we're going to find out whatever makes sense for you, okay, as far as protection-wise, coverage, and in your budget. But we're also going to talk about any current coverage that you may have that's going to help offset the mortgage, because it's not my job to sell you this big old policy, right? It's to help you find something that's going to make sense. Does that make sense so far?
It does, yeah.
Okay, awesome. Then we're going to go ahead and talk a little bit about some things that may not offset the mortgage. We already talked about that, but anything that may act like life insurance. I don't know, anything like 401ks. Do you have one of those?
I do, yes.
Okay, we'll take a small dive into that, not to be nosy, because Grady, your personal finances are none of my business. But what my business is, Grady, is to find out what does it look like financially for whoever's going to go ahead and take care of your estate when you die, because one day you will die, right? We both agree on that?
I Google it, yeah, supposedly.
Yeah, it's supposed to happen. We just don't know when. It could be Hopefully not tomorrow, Grady, but I'm pulling for you. Nice long life. Then what we'll do after that is I'm going to give you some financial options, okay? Whichever one makes sense in your budget, we're going to go ahead and apply for that today to go ahead and see if we can get you the coverage that you requested. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the other thing that we're going to do, once we figure that out, Grady, we're going to go ahead and we have to submit what we call a application or request for coverage. Now, what that looks like, Grady, is, do you know what a Hipaa authorization is?
Nancy at HR had me fill out some form so she could do something. I don't remember what it is.
Okay. What a Hipaa authorization is a release, an authorization, so the insurance carrier can go ahead and check your medical background. So every time you go to a doctor, he puts it in an electronic file. It's called an MIB, Medical Information Bureau. Then we're going to go ahead and check your prescriptions. It's called IntelliScript. They also check your driver's license. Is your driver's license good?
Yeah.
It is?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right, cool, because you could be in perfect health and have a real poor driving record, like somebody down here, and get denied, right? So anyways, once we do that, we're going to go ahead and ask you a few more medical questions. And then on the back side of the application, Grady, for whatever reason, I don't know, but the insurance companies want to know how they're going to get paid if you get approved. So we're going to go ahead and then put your checking or savings account information, and then we click submit. We may find out in 3 to 5 days, or on a rare occasion, we could possibly get an instant approval. And then you're covered today, and that's what you want, right?
Of course, yes.
All right, cool. So let's get it started. Are you a smoker or non-smoker?
Non-smoker. Clap that up. All right, so for all you recording it, that was a good idea to record that because that was incredible. So that would have been tough to write out. Who wrote that out by hand? That would have been really hard. My man did over here. That was fantastic. Thank you, Shannon. Okay, so let's jump into, we'll move close to the end just so it's a little more orchestrated. Get the check. Who wants to get the check? You just flow. You just flow to them unless you need me
I
to
keep
be
it
involved.
very simple. Hey guys, my client Grady, part of the approval process, I need to collect a copy of a voided check in the next 3 to 5 business days. If it gets approved, I'll give you a call. Your payment will get drafted, and after that, your policy gets delivered in 2 weeks. If you guys do have any questions, I'll do a follow-up call to answer any questions, any adjustments we need to make. I will come back, sit down with you, and we'll go over everything that we need to make changes on. I keep it very simple.
I don't give my banking information to anybody.
Okay. Well, part of the process, we need to make sure that it is your account that we are using here, not your sisters or brothers. And to be honest with you guys, I don't really get that objection that I don't want to give you my account.
Okay, but I don't want to give it to you.
Okay.
How are you going to overcome it?
Well, part of the process, I will have to have that information.
Okay. So you have to have it for us to
I will
apply?
have to have the information. I need to see your driver license, your banking info to make sure that you are who you say you are. And insurance companies, because they're doing underwriting, they're using their resources, they want to make sure that you are who you say you are.
And that you can tell that through my bank account?
Yeah. It tells you who account it is.
Okay, thank you. Clap it up.
Yeah.
All right, who's got think about it? Robbie Wells. And so for you guys too, this is fantastic. But I want the long version, right? I want like the and I know, and a lot of times great producers, like you get to the end and 100 out of 100 people give you the check, right? They just do because you've set the table so well and been strong. But this is when that rare time, that 101st person that goes, I'm going to give Robbie a hard time today. So we're giving the hard time because if you're brand new out there, all 100 of your 100 are giving you a hard time. So we're going to give you all the secrets today. So, Robbie, I need to think about it. This is great and all, Robbie, but I just need to think about it.
Grady, I understand that. Let me just ask you a question, and I get real emotional with them right here. Grady, how long have you and Miss Polcyn been married now?
About 10 years.
And how many years did y'all date before you got married?
About 2 years.
About 2 years. So you took 2 years to really think about it before you actually gave her the ring. Am I correct?
Correct.
Okay, so at that point, once you gave her the ring, you would do anything for your wife, am I right?
Correct.
Okay, so we just went through this policy, which is going to cost right at $100 a month, which is basically $3.33 a day. Are you telling me that your wife is not worth $3.33?
Well,
and at that point, usually Miss Polcyn will hit him upside the head like Gibbs on NCIS. And say, get
that
the
was
policy.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I loved that whole thing. And
Yeah.
No, everyone should write that because that's the confidence that you need to get. So now let's
Right.
just, and yes, of course, Robbie, she is, of course, worth $3.30, but we
Right.
just, I just need to think about it a little bit more. We just don't make decisions on, we just met you 45 minutes ago and you seem like you're really well spoken and you really know what you're doing, but, we just need to think about it.
No, I completely understand that, but again, you've got to ask yourself, Grady, are you guaranteed tomorrow? You're guaranteed that you love Miss Polcyn.
Correct.
She's guaranteed that she loves you, right?
I hope.
But you're not guaranteed that tomorrow this mortgage is taken care of if I walk out of here and it's unprotected and then she's left holding the bag.
That's true.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and let's get that taken care of right now.
Okay. All right. That was very good. All right, Jaime, I think this is you. Bank coverage. So this is great. I really like what you've got here, Jaime. It seems like, it's a good deal, but I was just at the bank recently checking on my policy, and I've got $50,000 through the bank. So I appreciate you coming, but I don't need it. So thank you, though.
And what do you pay, like $4 a month for that?
It's like $7 a quarter.
Seven a quarter, okay. So you pay like $1.50 a month for this?
I think that'd be $2.33, but
Oh, gotcha. Okay. So I'm not great at math. However, I do understand that almost all life insurance is state regulated. What that means is that if I go to the Shell station across the street and the BP across the street, one can't be $10 a gallon and the other one be $3 a gallon. That's illegal. So if you see something where there's a policy that is significantly different in price, significantly different in benefit. Okay. So when I see a $7 a quarter policy from the bank, red flag, I automatically know it's accidental death. Okay, so
Okay.
if we look at just term policies in general, I don't know if you know this, Grady, 98% of term policies never pay out.
oh,
98% of people either outlive or cancel their policy, so what percentage of accidentals do you think pay out? There's nothing wrong with having accidental for $7 a quarter. I would never cancel that. Why would you? Your bank's eating more interest out of or eating more inflation out of your account than what the policy is even costing you. So why would you ever cancel that? But wouldn't you agree that something that's guaranteed, permanent, that's going to take care of you in natural causes would actually make more sense?
yeah.
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 Duh.
That was fantastic. Clap that up. You guys learning something? Learning stuff? That's helpful? Raise your hand if it's helpful. Appreciate that. All right. Because you'll get that. You'll be like, I got this policy. It's from the bank. And you're like, it's $7 a quarter. And you're like, I'm like,
$500,000 for $7 a quarter.
yeah, it was like, that's a great deal. How do I get
me one of
contracted with them? And you're like, oh, it's accidental with a 2-year waiting period. Oh, interesting. Okay, so we're gonna look over here at Americo. Coverage through work. Who had coverage through work? Dean's gonna knock that one out. So Dean, this is great, but Nancy at HR, she got me set up. They pull it right out of my check, and I like that because, at the end of the month or on Fridays, I see the money that comes in, and that's what me and Mrs. Polcyn, we get to spend out, going out. So I really like that. I've got it all taken care of. I appreciate you coming out. What you have looks great, but we're all set.
Yeah, awesome. Can I be honest with you with just 1 second, Grady?
Yeah.
Have you ever looked at that paperwork that your Mrs. HR representative has actually signed you up for? Have you ever actually put your eyes on it? Ever?
I've actually, no, I have not.
You know why that is? Because you don't own it. Your company owns it. So, Grady, if I came to you and said, hey, man, I just got this brand new Raptor. I'm going to lease it to you, but you got 3 years to drive it. And guess what I'm going to do? Your lease is up. You give me the keys back. You no longer have it. It's not yours because you never owned it.
Got it.
Just like leasing a car, and so you have to give the keys back. So your work coverage is great. Are you paying for it, or is it something that they already give you at no cost?
It's like, it comes out of our check. I've got me and my wife on there, and I feel like it's like $7, $8, $14, something like that every other paycheck.
So typically what that entitles to means it's you're not 100% covered if you do even have it. And if you are covered, that means you have to technically die on the job. It does not cover you on personal time off. They do not care about your mortgage, and it's only designed for income loss replacement for your lovely wife. God forbid you don't wake up tomorrow or actually go to work, and then next thing you know, something falls down and crushes you. So it's not your policy, and the reason it's so dirt cheap is because it's called group term discount rates. If you have health insurance to work, right?
Correct.
Very affordable right now.
Super.
You know how much that insurance would cost you if you were independent on your own?
How much?
Several hundreds of dollars more than what you're paying now because it's group term discount. So you don't technically own their actual policy. You get to participate along with it, just like every other employee at the firm. So the best thing to do, Grady, is we're going to get you some private coverage, so no matter what you do, no matter where you go, it goes wherever you go. Because work coverage, if for whatever reason they say, hey, they call you one day, Grady, we got to let you go, you lose all the benefits that you think you have, and therefore you're not covered. So, but the coverage here, no matter where you go, it's still yours. So God forbid you guys are up and out at 'em moving somewhere, and you go first, and your wife comes 2 weeks later, and a death happens to you on the road. Your policy here is going to pay, work won't, because you're not at work.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yep.
Well, thank you.
Absolutely.
Okay, what do I have to pay the one at work?
You don't have to. Technically, no. It's your choice. However, I do encourage keeping it, but adding as something that's privately of yours just in case. Because at the end of the day, if something, God forbid, happens to you at work, then you have this coverage at work paying out for the work accidental death, plus the private policy you have, so therefore you're leaving more legacy for your family and income replacement.
Okay, well, thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you, appreciate that. Sales tip there is I value my work policy in this scenario. I talk proud of it. I feel like I signed up and I did something right for my family that I'm currently protecting. If he comes in and smokes it and says it's complete trash, you should, he goes, you could cancel it, but I also suggest you keep it because it's extra coverage subsidized, right? So that's a big thing in sales sometimes is they take pride in the thing they currently own. If you come in and smoke it, you're going to be on the defensive instead of the offensive trying to work with them. So, killed it, bro. All right. I don't think, did we already do this? I don't think we can afford it. No, that's right. Who's got this one? Kitchings? No. That's you, bro. All right, Mike Curry, Boots McGee. It's going to do Boots Curry. No, I'm just playing. I love him. I really love him. Just it's like a brotherly playfulness, which I should subdue right now. We're in this very professional environment. But Mike Curry, I appreciate you coming out, and I just don't think we can afford it.
Gotcha. So what's the maximum amount that you want to put towards this a month, and we'll figure out the maximum amount of coverage for you?
Oh, well, $100.
$100. Let me look at the system here. Looks like we can do a 100,000 CBO, and go ahead, grab the voided check, driver's license. We'll go ahead and submit the request, see if we can get you approved.
Yeah, but I just don't know if that's enough to make it worth pulling the $100 out of my budget right now while we're just so tight to buy it.
Gotcha. Yeah, and we obviously built the value before this, but
Correct.
Yeah, completely understand where you're coming from. It's kind of like a vehicle. Obviously, sometimes we want the Ferrari, we want the the great big policy to cover everything, but we can't always afford that car, right? So we have to maximize what we can afford, and I'm pretty positive that tomorrow, if you didn't come home, your wife wouldn't regret getting $100,000. So I would, place that bet on 100,000 versus 0.
Okay. Is it just I've heard of some of these policies that have like benefits in them. Like, is there anything other? I mean, if I die, like, I'm happy she gets the money, but what if I don't die?
Yeah, gotcha. So like we just discussed on the overview here that I just texted you, this is going to pay out, obviously, if you pass away. That's worst case scenario. It's going to pay out if you become critically, chronic, or terminally ill. So if you have a heart attack, stroke, cancer next week, it's going to pay you $100,000 just as if you were to pass away, and assuming they're under 60. This is the amount of cash back. You're going to get $85,000 cash back in 20 years should you not pass away or become ill.
Okay. So there's a lot going on in there. It's more than just the $100. There's a lot of value in there. Anything else you would add to this to kind of a thing on a
Yeah, so just to be completely honest, like a lot of this is in the opening. So just jumping in, it's a conversation. I don't follow a script. I'm always off the cuff. But if somebody was I would have already set that up in the very beginning.
Okay.
Right. So
how would you set it up?
Based on their mortgage. So if I'm running a mortgage appointment, right? If it's final expense, I'm asking them cremation or burial. Obviously, I know.
Let's just say it's a final expense appointment.
Final expense.
Let's
okay.
Because that's where we're predominantly.
Yeah.
We're
Okay. So say somebody says, hey, I want to be buried, right? So I'll gladly recommend, hey, I sit with a lot of clients. Most people who want to be buried are looking between $15,000 and $20,000. Is that what you're looking for?
It depends if I can afford it.
Okay, perfect. So what we're gonna do? I don't even know the question, dude. I'm completely froze.
You're doing completely freezing. You're doing fine.
I know.
I don't think we can afford it. All right,
Yeah.
Mike. I appreciate it. $80.
Gotcha.
I understand. Like, we just got a lot of bills right now. I just don't think we can afford it. I see that's $80 for $10,000. What's your rebuttal to that?
Gotcha. So I'm finding out the maximum amount that they can afford, no matter
Okay,
what.
I
because
gotta
they can
afford
afford
$22
something.
a month.
$22. Okay, so we're gonna go into America Eagle e-app, quote them. If they can get 3,000, or 5,000, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Right?
Hear
22
that?
We're submitting something. Like
Remember, my second policy was like $9.
Right. So the whole
Just
goal
get
is
it on the books.
the whole goal is to put something on the books to protect the maximum amount that they can afford. Whether it's $22, $2,000, $22, it doesn't matter. Like, I'm finding the maximum amount that they want to put towards the policy, and that's what we're doing. And we're going to submit.
Awesome, bro. All right, you nailed it. You got it. You pulled it together. Thank you. All right, so we've heard a bunch of in-homes already. So for the close, we've already hit that. I want Brandon. He does a very good job on final words when leaving the house to like solidify the appointment, right? So the EAP submitted. They've approved, not approved. But how are you I can say it without weird drawing it. How are you solidifying that sale, the appointment, the trust? How are you knocking out them talking to another broker? How are you building that faith with them that you're their guy and they should, when some dude calls them out? So how do you close out a sale complete? Like, these are the last words you're saying.
All right, so great. Everything has been submitted over to the insurance carrier. All right, and at this time, I just want to thank you for allowing me to protect your beautiful family today with these important matters. Now, after today, what's going to happen, Grady, is it's going to take anywhere from 24 to 72 hours to get an answer back from the insurance carrier. Once we do get that answer, you will get a phone call from my assistant, who is my mother. Her name is Rosa. She's going to call you to go over that with you, give you the news on that. If for whatever reason they do not approve you, I don't want you to be worried. I am a broker. I have backup carriers ready to go. She'll just get me back in the mix. I'll get back on the phone with you, and we'll get that taken care of. If you get approved, which is what we're hoping for, she's going to relay that to you. She's going to also make sure that you're looking out for that first payment to come out within the next 48 hours, okay? And then she's also going to give you a call in about a week from that time. To check and make sure that you did receive the policy in the mail, okay? Once she figures out that you have no more questions, for me at that time, she's gonna send out a thank you card from my office, okay? You may get some other calls from other agents as well, Grady, but I am your guy for life, okay? I want you to know that. Anyone else calls you, the only thing that they can do at this time is try to add more coverage. I've already put you in the best plan that you could possibly be qualified for at this time, so all they can do is try to add more coverage, okay? So you're just gonna call me if you want to add more coverage, you just call me, I'm your guy, okay? You put me in your phone as Brandon, the insurance guy, and I'll be out to take care of you, okay? All right, and then last thing with that as well is once you receive, your policy in the mail, Grady, I want you to look it over, make sure everything is how it's supposed to be. Again, call me if you have any questions, okay?
Brandon, thank you very much. That was fantastic. Clap it up for all these guys. Went to work, did their job, protected lots of families by taking care of their own. So guys, anyone can do this if you work hard at it and grow your skill set, right? Shake of your head if you were as good as you are now in the first 30, 60 days. Not good. Okay. Does that give you guys some confidence? Like, these guys didn't go to like sales school of, whatever. They didn't tutelage on. They weren't like tuteled under Grant Cardone. That's like a word for school, tutelage, right? So they weren't tuteled, taught is a better word. They weren't taught on like some sales savant of like NLP. Mike, what did you do before you started? Yeah, let's get back to that. What were you doing before you started working here?
I was in network marketing and digital marketing.
Appliance repair.
Car sales and pest control.
Car sales manager.
Mortgage loan officer.
I ran for office, and before that, I was coaching.
Okay.
Sports supplement nutrition sales across the country.
Communicative businesses, guys. The business is a communicative business. It's a skill set. All is a skill set. You want to get good at it, choice is yours. They chose to get good at it. Now they got red jackets on stage in Miami. So anyone can do it. Clap it up for them. Appreciate you all.